What's up, everybody? Welcome to Making Moves with Michael. We're live here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So catch me live every Monday at 1:30, anytime Monday at 1:30. I'm live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Lost my train of thought there, so I pretty much just repeated myself. Little public speaking hack right there. If you lose your train of thought, just repeat the question back, or I guess repeat yourself. I don't know if that's a hack, but what I do here on Making Moves with Michael is share some tips, some ideas, some strategies. And today's tips, idea, or strategy that we're going to be talking about is building relationships within your communities. And the purpose behind that is, as entrepreneurs, is to either sell your product or sell your courses, get known. It's a way to pretty much work without having to prospect and cold call in the traditional sense. I'm going to get into that in a second. But part of why I'm sharing this on my Making Moves with Michael today is because I have my Take Action Community Mastermind taking place on Wednesday, the 12th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's via Zoom. It's not live in the sense of being broadcasted on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube. So it's a closed community that we meet on Zoom. So you're all welcome to join. If you're watching this right now, you're probably somebody who knows me. You're some entrepreneur somewhere. You're a business owner. You're in business. You don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur, but most of the messages resonate more with people who can do their own thing. But anyway, you're one of those people. And so this community might be right for you. So just DM me, email me, text me. You can find all of my information on michaelespositoinc.com. It's all there. And like I said, you probably already know me. So just text me. All right, let's jump into this. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about it all stems from, here's the problem that we all have. We are business owners. We are entrepreneurs. We're business leaders. We are trying to get people in our doors or buying our products. And we don't want to do this in the traditional sense in a way of, or we are doing it this way, we just hate it, which is knocking on doors, opening up new doors and saying, "Hi, how are you? Can you buy from me?" Or picking up the phone and saying, "Hi, how are you? Can you buy from me?" Or sending DMs saying, "Hey, I love your content, buy from me." We don't want to do that, or we're doing it and it feels icky. Well, the reality is it feels icky because you are literally reaching out to somebody with this intention to sell them. That's why it feels icky, because you know and they know that the only reason why you walked through the door, picked up the phone, or text or DM them was because you wanted to sell them something. So, what we're going to talk about today is how do we eliminate that feeling? And I'm going to jump into some notes over here because this is something that I talk about pretty regularly and I feel is really, really important. And I think the first step is you got to be patient. That's pretty much the first step. You got to be patient. So let's just jump into this whole idea of being patient. You have something that you need to sell, and you think that this person is a good fit for it. So, in other words, what you're selling is going to solve a problem, and the person that you're reaching out to, that you're cold calling, you can solve their problem because you have the solution for it. So, you have the solution to their problem. The issue is in between there, there's no trust built. You haven't built trust or a relationship with that person to get you in the door so that they actually listen to you. So, how do we build trust? We build trust over time. And we build trust over time, not just by, of course, waiting. We have to do things in between that time to build that trust to where now when we walk in the door, they are willing to hear us. Doesn't mean that they buy from us, just means that they're willing to listen. So we have to be patient. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to start becoming more curious. A lot of times, salespeople, entrepreneurs, every one of you right here listening to this, We walk into a cold call with the idea that we need to tell them everything about us. We need to spit out all of the information, why they should be buying from us, why we can solve their problem, how we can solve their problem, what it looks like after we solve their problem. We think that the ROI, all of these different ideas are going to help them and it's going to build trust. It actually has the opposite effect. When we throw up all of our information on them, they just want to get away from us. They just want to move away from us and the way that we're thinking. The way that we build trust is not by throwing up our information on someone. The way we build trust is by actually asking them questions and listening. The way we build trust is by asking open ended questions that lead to a conversation that you guide. So, one of the questions that I receive when I coach people on this is, Michael, I tried this method of asking open ended questions, and next thing I knew, I was in a 30-minute conversation, and it wasn't even about our product. And I got to know all about their lives and everything, but it didn't really steer it towards the product, and I didn't get a second appointment out of it and everything. And, what do I do? Well, the first thing is that's pretty good. If you had a 30-minute conversation with somebody that you just met, then you're starting to build some foundational roots into the relationship. And that's good. You want to build a trusting relationship with this person. But you have criteria to meet, right? You have goals to meet. You have KPIs to meet. You have all of these other things that you need to do. And so a 30-minute conversation about somebody's dog, while that's great in the sense that you're building a bond with this person and a relationship with this person, it's not so great because it's not necessarily moving the ball forward in terms of getting to your ultimate goal, which is setting an appointment with them and discussing your product or service. So when we're thinking about our open-ended questions, we have to think about the questions that we ask that are going to guide them, or you're the guide, right? That are going to lead them closer towards their problem and closer towards your solution. And what we want to do is listen to their answers. In their answers, we don't want to just jump on their answer and then jump into our product or solution. We want to ask follow-up questions. Tell me more about that. Tell me how that impacts your business. Explain how you see that becoming a problem in the future. Share with me some of your solutions that you're implementing today or that you would like to implement in the future. Those are leading questions that are going to come tie back to your solution. Where we want them to go is to start asking us about our solution. For them to say to you, Michael, you came in my door, you asked me a bunch of questions about my business and the problems that we have. You asked me about the future of my business and how I see it taking shape. Why are you here? What solutions do you have to offer? What are your thoughts on this? That's what you want them to ask. Because when they ask that, now the trust is built. They're asking that because they're curious about you. They're curious and trust is there, and now they're willing to listen to you. That may not happen in the first call. It may take time. And that's why I say, don't just focus on the sale when you walk in the door. Don't focus on getting the appointment or getting the meeting or getting the sale. Focus on building the relationship. Focus on getting to know the person, know their business, know their problem, understanding all of that. So the only way you're going to understand all of that is by asking those open-ended questions. Excuse me. Oh, I felt that itch coming up my throat, and I was like, I know it's going to hit. So the only way it's going to happen is by asking those open-ended questions with a plan so that you guide them along the way. You lead them towards maybe getting the meeting. You lead them towards the sale. So those are my tips on helping you today in no longer cold calling in the old way, but doing it in a way where you're building relationships. So those are my tips. And I want to just tie it back to that for a second here as we can wrap this whole video up for you. You can still cold call, still make the phone calls, still send the emails, still the cold emails, still send the DMs, still knock on doors. But what I want you to do now is when you're doing that, have an intention to genuinely get to know the person on the other end without the intention of selling them. And I promise you that if you do that, it just got darker in here. I get well, sometimes, sometimes the little ADD Michael jumps in. But I promise you, if you do that, if you set your intention to build a relationship and not make a sale, you'll get to know so many more people, and those people will open doors. And the last thing to all of that is really the patience. It goes back to patience. Be patient. Be patient along the way. Understand that it will take time. Every relationship that you could think about in your life took time. It didn't start in one day. So don't do that with your sale. Give it time. And for those of you out there who are saying, my boss or manager wants me to come back with results in one day. My boss or manager wants me to get a sale or an appointment in the first call. The reason why they want that or they're setting that expectation is because in your industry, in your profession, in your job, or whatever it is, the history of it has been none of you has followed up. None of you have really built the relationships. And so they're just like, bang out as many phone calls as you can, as many cold calls as you can, and get those relationships right away because we know you're not going to follow up. So if we go back to patience, patience includes that follow-up time. It includes seeing somebody 1, 2, 3, 7 times, 10 times before even asking for a sale. Just being that constant in their life. And I bet you your boss or your managers, once they recognize that you're following up and you're seeing people over and over and over again and building a relationship and at the same time making sales, because sales will start coming out of it. This is your sales funnel and making sales. Eventually they'll let you do your process because they're going to see that you're building relationships that are leading to sales. So remember, don't just talk about the dog. Go back and ask open-ended questions that lead to the sale. Thanks for watching today. If this was powerful for you, if this was valuable for you, join me on Wednesday. It is free, people. I'm not selling you anything here. I'm building relationships. I'm literally like what I'm telling you, I'm literally doing, right? So I'm not selling you anything. If you want to buy from me, you know how to buy from me. Just go to my website. You'll find out about my coaching and my workshops and my keynotes and all that other stuff. You want to buy from me, you can. But that's not what I'm doing here. Well, it is, but I'm not, right? It's all mind games here. Join me on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. In the comments here, I'll put the Eventbrite link. Just register there. It's free. Everybody in my mastermind has been with me since July, and none of them have paid a dime. So I'm not selling you anything there. Like I said, I'm building relationships. I practice what I preach, and what I preach is build relationships. And when you build the right relationships and give value to people and lead them towards your sale, lead them towards what you're doing, which is, why I talk about the things I talk about. Eventually, when it's the right time for them and they see value in it, they will and they trust you, they will buy from you. And as a closing statement here, I built a relationship with somebody in my network over many, many, many years. And she never bought from me and I never bought from her. Well, I can't say I never did because I did end up buying from her. But we built our relationship over many, many years. And when I transitioned, so I went from insurance to building out this personal and professional development business, this coaching business of mine. When I transitioned to that, I reached out there and I told her, hey, this is what I'm doing. And nothing came of that until recently. And recently, she has referred me to other partners and where I have opportunities to make some really significant sales in my business. And it's because of that relationship that I gave time to and fostered and trusted and just enjoyed. So go out there and have fun and enjoy it. As always, everyone, Making Moves with Michael is live every Monday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Join me live next week. I hope to see you there. Stay happy and stay healthy, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.